ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। சீரொன்ற திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
This paragraph starts with the title in bold letters, Purna Anushtatu. Purna Anushthanatu. One letter is missing. Purva Anushthanatu. Samakritya Anushtatuhu. Sorry. Purna Anushtatuhu. Visarga is missing. So Purna Anushtatuhu. Samakritya Anushtatushcha Tulya Phalatvam. It should be again, the first na letter is missing from the first line. Purna Anushthanatu. Because we have the repetition. If I say Anushtatuhu, accept it as Anushtatu, the repetition is then in the next line also. Samakritya Anushtatuhu cha. Tulya Phalatvam. Now, there are two aspects here very beautifully brought out by Swami Vedanta Deshika. Namely, there are 2 points here. One is the procedure adopted, the temple worship adopted. That's one thing. The second point is the doer. Of course, we remember that we are not the doers. Lord makes us do. We are all upakaranams, namely instruments. And therefore, we are all accessories. Therefore, He uses us. He utilizes our service. And we are fortunate that He utilizes our service. And therefore, both of them give us advantages. How can both give advantages? Namely, the very Anutthanam, irrespective of the priest, irrespective of the name of the priest. Let us not worry about the individual who does it. So it is simply the procedure adopted, the procedure followed strictly can benefit the entire society. That's what I mean. Whereas an individual priest is getting all the fruits from what he did, the service that he gave. Therefore, there are 2 meanings here. So the first line tells you, Pratyekam Sampurna Samaradhanam Mityarthaha. So we were defining that whether we get materials, right materials in right time, enough of, the sufficient quantity of the materials, then our knowledge, limited knowledge or little knowledge with which we do service in the temple, plus our capacity. As far as possible, we have to be very sincere, faithful, loyal, and so on. So all this counts, and even when we miss any action, wantonly or unknowingly, suppose there is a lacuna in the procedure, then even then our meditation of the divine names of Sriman Narayana will be sufficient enough to call it the complete aradhana. That is the beauty from Vedanta Deshika's words, the golden words. So Sampurna Samaradhanam ityatha. Ataha, therefore, yathadikaraha, yadadikaram, according to our qualification, yatha shakti, according to our energy, atra, here, meaning in the context of the temple service, Shraddadhanaihi, Visarga is there, Shraddadhanaihi, those who evince interest in doing service in the temple, Shraddadhanaihi, meaning one who has taken deep interest in doing this. So by people, there is a plural. By people who want to do service in the temple with a lot of interest, devotion, involvement, and so on. So what is the attitude of the Lord? Daya, Ardra, Hridaya, Deshika, Upadesha, Purvakam, Anupravisha. Now what do we do as an interested person, involved person in doing some temple service? We have got a preceptor. We have got a preceptor already. The preceptor taught us the Pancaratra Agama to us. Already the preceptor, many preceptors, not only a single preceptor, many preceptors we have approached many preceptors, and many preceptors have advised us. How? How did they advise? Daya, Ardra, Hridaya, Deshika, Upadesh. They have been our guides. Deshika meaning guide. Philosopher and friend, we say, as we say in English. He is my mentor, we say. He is mentor, philosopher, guide, and one who helps us to do the service to the temple. So Daya, so with sympathy, Ardra, wet, W-E-T. Hridayam, his heart is wet with pity. That means Irakkathal Eeramulla Idayam. Irakkathal Eeramulla Idayam. Dayardra Hridayam. So such a preceptor we got already, fortunately. We were fortunate enough to get a preceptor or a single or many preceptors who have taught us different books on Pancaratra Agama and also Pancaratra Raksa. Please remember, I had this also. So Swami Deshika is our preceptor in disguise. In the sense, we have not been fortunate enough to meet him in his times, in the 13th century. Maybe we were there. That's why we are reading now his books. That's all we want to say. We have been fortunate enough to go through Pancaratra Raksha because we have been in touch with him in his times, in his lifetime. Therefore, so Deshika refers to Swami Vedanta Deshika also. So Dayardra Hridaya Deshika Upadesha Purvakam. Now we know how to protect, preserve the temple procedure in the worship. Therefore, preceded by Purvakam preceded by our preceptors, even taking from Nathamuni, Yamunacharya, and Ramanujacharya and Swami Deshika, plus the preceptors who are alive along with us in this century, in our lifetime, then Anupravisya, we got into that. Our soul, S-O-U-L, our soul and spirit got into their shoes, as we say. Shoes. Why? Because we all worship them as their divine feet. at the divine feet of the preceptors, we fall, what you call, with Sashtanga Namaskaraha, and therefore we got it. So Anupravishya, so we understood, we have entered into it. Anupravishya means after they performed the worship in the temple, we now take the turn to do the duty in the temple. Therefore, Anupravishya, Anu, so follow. Anu means follow. Pravishya means entering. So entering into their performance, in the sense we follow their performance, then Desha, Kala, Dasha, Adi, Anugunyena, Achidram. So when we can perform the worship in the temple, so we take the right place, that is, we choose the right temple, rather the temple administration has chosen us. So Desha, Kala, time, so we stick to that time as per the Pancaratra. Then Dasha, the condition, status. So according to the living conditions, either rich or poor in the temple, or according to our status, whether we are rich or poor, Dasha, the status, it means status, condition. And also Adi, etc. Adi, Anugunyena, they are all favorable. Anugunyam is favorable. Therefore, Anugunyena, what happens is, because of our luck, Achidram, there is no mistake done. There is no error committed. So the Chidram means hole, H-O-L-E. So Achidram means nobody can find fault with us. Nobody can pick holes on us. That is the exact translation for this Achidram. So nobody can do that. Meaning our procedure is perfect, our follow-up is right, and so on. So Yathakramam, according to the procedure, so according to the order, Samakritya, we do that sincerely. That means we come together, and sometimes as a team we do that in the temple. Va, Samakritya va, so Anutishtatbihi. Now that this word goes with the first word, Shraddadhanehi, in the first line. Shraddadhanehi Anutishtatbihi. Anutishtatbihi meaning we strictly follow the preceptors while doing the worship of the God in the temple. So, Ananya Prayojanehi, our qualification extends further, namely, we do not expect anything in return for the service done in the temple. And therefore, Ananya Prayojanehi. So, this is the purpose of doing service in the temple is the purpose of doing service in the temple. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. Namely, we don't expect any benefits, material benefits out of it. We don't expect the what you call worldly advantages for our own selfish motive. So we are not looking up anything for our family, for myself as an individual, and so on. The next again another qualification, further qualification is Paramaikantibihi. I have been doing it without any iota of expectation, without any single idea of a return to my service. I don't expect any return to my service. Therefore, Paramaikanti is generally when we are very much devoted to the Lord Almighty, rather the highest soul, supreme soul, the final soul, Ekantibihi meaning we remain rather exclusively devoted to Him. Not that we are lonely in the temple, not that I am the only priest in the temple. So I have to work sometimes with the team. If I am a chief priest, I can direct all of them, others. But at the same time, I am individualistic in nature. That's called Ekantivi. My procedure should be an example to others. My follow-up should be a model to others. I must be a role model for others. Then I will show them, if at all necessary, if they seek my assistance, I will show them how to do that. Therefore, again, when I start advising others, then I must introspect whether I am correct in advising them, whether I am doing properly the service to the Lord as I advise them. And then, so the next qualification, to look at the qualifications of the priest. First qualification is Shraddha Dhanahi. I must show deep interest. Anutishtat bihi, I must follow strictly all the procedures. Ananya Prayojanahi, I must not expect anything else out of this service. Paramekanti bihi, I must introspect and find out whether I am right or not. If I am right, okay. If I am not right, I must correct myself. Then, next one is Anavadika Paramapurusha Charana Paricharana Rupa. So the whole procedure, the entire worship of the service to the Lord in the temple should be in the form of advice, service to Paricharana, service to the what we call delectable, unalloyed service. Meaning there should be no mistake done. So Paricharana Rupam in the form of service at the feet Charana. Whose feet? Paramapurusha Charana. On the highest soul, namely the Paramatma, Paramapurusha. He is Purushottamaha and he should be endless, Anavadika. He should not have a limit. So Anavadi, he has no limit for anything. He has no limit of place, time, and object. Therefore, apply this Anavadika to him, H-I-M, capital, and Anavadika Charana Parichana Roop. We must not limit ourselves, oh, today this is enough, sufficient, tomorrow we will do more. So that's that what you call that idea in our mind. That kind of sentiment in our, then what should we aim at? The next qualification. So you go on counting the qualifications. Shraddhadanihi number 1, Anutishtatbihi number 2, Ananya Prayojanihi number 3, Paramekantibihi number 4, Anavadika Paramapurusha Charana Parijana Rupam number 5, then this is 6, Apavarga Aishwaryam. So what do we aim at? Apavarga. What is Apavarga? Moksha. What is Moksha? The place called Sri Vaikuntham, Paramapadam, Thirunadu, Kalanga Perunahar. And also recently I came across another name for Vaikuntham. Here, Andamilla Perinbam, that also I can say. Andamilla Perinbam. There is no limit to the bliss that we receive from there. So Apavarga is moksha. That is, again, lastly, what is Apavarga? Our service to the Lord. Our relentless service to the Lord. Relentless service to the Lord. R-E-L-E-N-T-L-E-S-S. Relentless service to the Lord. Impeccable service to the Lord. I-M-P-C-C-A-B-L-E. Impeccable service to the Lord. And also unalloyed service to the Lord. That is, service is called Apavarga. So that will be our wealth, that will be our richness, that will be our property. So Apavarga Aishwaryam. Then Yatha Arogyam, according to the permit given by the health, our own health. Yatha Yogyam. So Yatha Yogyam is according to our capacity, health, Yatha Arogyam, according to our health. Yatha Yogyam, according to our fitness, according to your qualification, yatha yogyam. Cha atraiva, here only, that means in the context of the temple service, bhoktavyam iti siddha. So we must try to make the Lord happy. It is not that by the service to the Lord we become happy. So our happiness is relegated to the background when Lord's happiness is the foremost in our mind. Should be the foremost in our mind. We are not to think about our own happiness, our own satisfaction in doing service to the Lord. And therefore, that is what we call bhoktavyam. So when he is happy, I am happy. When he is satisfied, I am satisfied. So I am satisfied. How do you know that he is happy? How do we know that he is satisfied? That is by what we call experience. That is by not practically can be explained in theoretical ways. So we must experience it in the heart. We can identify by some what we call some marks of his happiness. One small example, when we go and worship the Lord in the temple, it is only a simple example, don't mistake me. A flower falls from his garland, meaning that it is called the shakunam, Shubha Shakunam, a good omen, OMEN, so that our service is accepted. Our service is accepted. Normally, I take it as a very important incident when I take the flower and use the flowers for our worship, especially. Only one flower. So also a leaf of tulasi falls from his hand, divine hand, and so on. So here, this is an indication of for great people like Swami Deshika and others, there have been what we call words of the Bhattacharya himself, the priest himself. Through the Bhattacharya, Lord speaks. So it is called the DX Machina in French. DX Machina. It's a divine incident by which Swami Vedanta Deshika got two titles, rather called Birudu, Tamil Birudu. So the title, the honorific title, Vedantacharya and Sarvatantra Swatantra from the divine couple of Sriranga. These are all some what we call inspiring, awesome, amazing incident that happens once in our life. So we are coming to the close of the book Pancaratra Raksa, Grantha Upasamharaha. Grantha Upasamharaha. So Grantha book, Upa near, Samharaha has got two meanings. So let us not mistake it as murder. So he sometimes say Ravana Samharaha. Valmiki named his book Ramayanam as Ravana Vadham. There are three names to Srimad Ramayanam. Number one, Ramayanam, as all of us know. Ravana Vadham, you might have heard that name. The third name is very specific, important, more important than the other two. Sitayaha Charitam Mahat. So we have three names given by Valmiki himself, the author himself, to this book, what we call Itihasaha. The first Itihasaha, the first Kavya literature, what we call literary work in Sanskrit. First poetic work in Sanskrit literature. So Adi Kavyam we say, Adi Kavyam. So Adi Kavihi Valmiki. The first poet was Valmiki in Sanskrit. So now we are talking about Srirangam. Jnana Shloka Bhaktakshara. Very good. Very nice that Kesavadas reminded us that this particular verse, we cannot call anything as shloka because The shloka will contain only 32 syllables. When we call anything like Mahabharatam, any verse from Mahabharatam or Srimad Ramayanam or Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Puranas like Sri Vishnu Puranam, we have got thousands and thousands of shlokas. Nevertheless, there are so many verses longer than shloka. Shloka has got only 32 syllables. So this has more syllables. Therefore, what we say is stotram, an eulogy, a praise, an adoration. And you can say verse, stanza in English, padyam in Sanskrit. Simply meaning single two letters, padyam in Sanskrit. This is a padyam on Ashtakshara, as Keshav put it rightly. So, Savyam Padam Prasari. Savyam meaning left, L-E-F-T. Edad. Left doesn't meaning gone away. So, Savyam is left. Dakshinam is right. So, Savyam is left. Pada is foot. So, Prasarya, extending the foot. Extending the left foot, meaning left leg. Left leg. Shrita Durita Haraha. Shrita Durita Haraha. So, what kind of left feet? Left foot, sorry. What kind of left foot? What is the nature of the left foot? Shrita Durita Haram. It will remove the sins of people who surrendered to him. How did you say that? Because in so many incarnations, you find that the left foot is very important. The left foot is important. Of course, we have to catch hold of both the divine feet, but the left foot is very important. And therefore, when we fall at the feet, divine feet, the left foot gives away, removes our sins when we surrender to him. So, Shrita, surrendered people, surrenderies, Durita, Papam, sin, S-I-N, Haraha, Haram, one who takes away, actually steals away. Then Dakshinam. So that means both the divine feet remove our sins. So I had told during Bhuta Shuddhi meditation. Okay. Right. When Keshava refers to the word Bhuta Shuddhi is perhaps a surprising part of the Tiruvaradhanam where we become Lord Himself. We become Lord Himself. Almost there is an Advaita aspect there that we become one with Him. And what happens is, as Almighty, we worship the Almighty. Now, example is from Ramavatara. Sri Rama, in his incarnation, worshipped Sri Ranganatha of Sri Rangam. What we see here in Sri Rangam. So, Dakshinam. Now, just as joking, I said left foot gives us the benefit of removal of the sins, but Dakshinam is added here. So, both the feet are capable of removing the sins of the devotees. So, Dakshinam Kunchayitva. What did he do with Dakshinam, right foot? So, you add with the Dakshinam Padam. Dakshinam Padam Kunchayitva. He bends a little. He bends a little. While lying down, while sleeping on the snake, left foot is extended as far as possible, and then right foot is little bent. As we sometimes have pillow for supporting our one of the feet. Therefore, then Januni Adhaya. Januni it's a Dvivachana word, dual word. So Januni, long vowel at the end. Januni. Janu meaning knee, K-N-E-E. Knee. Januni means two knees, a pair of knees. So Adhaya meaning keeping it with comfortably. That's the meaning. Januni Adhaya means keeping it comfortably. Then Savya Itara Bhujam. Savya Itara Bhujam is, we are talking about the arm, A-R-M. Bhujam is shoulder with hands. From the shoulder to the tip of the fingers. It's called Bhujam. So Savya Itara Bhujam, we saw Savya meaning left side. So Itara meaning the other one. So other than the left meaning right. So Savyatara Bhujam is the right shoulder along with the hands, the long hands. Because he is Ajana Bahu. His hands extend up to the knee. So in case of Rama, we say this especially. In Krishna, it's also the same. So Savyatara Bhujam, namely the right hand, keeping it under his head. It is not mentioned here. So Savyatara Bhujam. Then Aparam Nagabhoge Nidhaya. The left hand, so Savyatram is right hand. Aparam Bhujam is left hand. Left hand is on Nagabhoge Nidhaya. He is keeping on the bed, that is the snake bed. Nagabhoge. Naga is snake, serpent. Bhoge Nidhaya. So he is keeping on just a little behind, over the bed. Over the bed in the sense, over himself also. Then unless you imagine, visualize Ranganatha of Srirangam, only when you visualize Sriranganatha, you can understand very well, deeply. Then Paschat later, Bahudvayena, by the other two hands. There are four hands. So Bahu again, arm, A-R-M, hand, H-A-N-D. Bahudvayena, with the other two hands, Pratibhata Shamane Dharayan. Pratibhata Shamane. Pratibhata meaning enemy. Bhataha means soldier. Pratibhata meaning opposite soldier, opposition party soldier. Meaning, whose enemy? He has no enemy. Only the devotees have got enemies. As we have enemies. Our enemies are 6 already in the body. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These 6 enemies are there already. Whereas Pratibhata Shamane is whether, irrespective of whether these 6 enemies are the practically human enemies or some other enemies also, animals and so on. So Pratibhata Shamane, in order in the control of the enemies, namely the enemies of the devotees, Dharayan Shankha Chakri. What is the use of these other two hands? He holds the conch on the left hand. In a temple where he obeyed Tirumaishi Alvar, he holds the chakram on the left hand, the discus on the left hand. Then the other one called conch, panchajanyam on the left hand. Or on the right hand, you have the wheel, discus we say, disc we say, meaning Sudarshana Chakra. So Shankham, Chakram. So Shankhancha, Chakrancha, Shankha Chakre. It is in dual. So these two hands, we talked about the first two hands, and now we have there are 4 hands totally, and therefore Dharayan holding, that is bearing Shankha Chakri, the conch and the discus, the wheel, namely Panchajanyam and Sudarshana. Then Devi Bhusha Adi Jushta. So Devi is there, Mahalakshmi is there on his divine chest. So Mahalakshmi is there, Devi. So how is she? She is an ornament to the Lord. Or she adds beauty to the Lord. Or Lord adds beauty to her. Thiruvukkum Thiruvakiya Shalva. Nammalvar said, and Totaratnam of Sri Yamunacharya said, Shiyashrihi. Shiyashrihi. Thiruvukkum Thiruvanavan. Therefore, Mahalakshmi adds beauty to him. That is, adds handsomeness to him. Lord adds beauty to her because of her close proximity. because of her presence, divine presence in his chest. So Devi, then Bhushadi. So what are the other ornaments? The other ornaments are, namely, starting with the other weapons. We mentioned, this mentions only Shankam and Chakram. We have Gada, the mace, Kaumodaki by name, the bow called Sharngam in his left shoulder, the arrows in the arrow box, what you call the quiver, Tuniram we say in Sanskrit, Tuniram. தமிழ்ல அம்பரா துணின்னு சொல்லுவோம். தமிழ்ல அம்பரா துணி சொல்லுவோம். அம்புகள் வைக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பெட்டி, arrow box ன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இங்கிலீஷ்ல, arrow box. So that also included the arrow box, because without bow the arrows will not work. Without arrows the bow will not work. So Shargam the bow, what you call Chapaha or Dhanu. So Dhanus we say. And then the next, thirdly, Khadgaha. Khadgaha, the sword called Nandaka. The name is Nandaka. So all these are all ornaments. All weapons are ornaments. All ornaments are weapons. This is vice versa. In Sri Varadarajastavam, Kurattalvan, Kuresha says, Bhushanani Ayudhani. Bhushanani Ayudhani. In Sanskrit, you can reverse the prose order and say Ayudhani Bhushana. That's what we enjoyed last session in going through Varadarajastavam of Kanchipuram. So we are talking about Bhusha. Bhusha is number one. Is what about I said weapons, the list of weapons, including Shankam Chakram, including the conch and the discus. Thirdly, next one is the Kaustubam. The Kaustubam, the white gem that came out of the milk ocean, Kshiradhi, while it was churned. The 14 white objects came. One of them, of course, some of them are human beings like, or other gods and goddesses like. So Dhanvantari the doctor, then 4 Apsaras, Menaka, Tilottama, Ramba and Urvashi, plus Mahalakshmi. Why say Mahalakshmi lastly? What I say in the last is most important. So there is a formula in grammar in Sanskrit, Uttarottaram Baliyasi. Whatever is said later is more important. So Mahalakshmi came out of the milk ocean, and therefore Kshira Samudra, and therefore the Kaustubha came out of white gem. Kamadhenu, white cow. Airavata, white elephant with 4 tusks. Uchchaishravaha, the white horse. If I say it in English, it has got a lot of different meanings, wrong meanings. White elephant, white horse have got different meanings in English. Whereas I am just translating. White colored horse, white colored elephant. Vellayane, Vella Kudare, Chandran, the white moon, the white gems, Kaustubam, and so on. So the Kaustubam was won by him, W-O-R-N, won by him as an ornament. Then you have Vaijayanti Mala. Vaijayanti Mala is what we call successful garland. Literally translated as successful garland. It is otherwise known as Vanamala, that is garland from the forest. Again, it can be called Tulasi Mala. So Vaijayanti Mala is the same as Tulasi Mala, Vanamala, and Vaijayanti Mala, Vanamala, and Tulasi Mala. 3 names. Now you can have more garlands if you are capable of adorning him with the temple. So many, what you call, the pearl necklace and so on, Mukta Haraha and so on. So, Bhusha, so you can add on, go on adding all the ornaments to him as per your capacity, as per your status and so on. So, Adi, etc., Jushtaha, he has been associated with. Jushtaha meaning associated with. Generally, the word Jushtaha is always positive and associated beautifully with, associated gracefully with So the Lord, what does he do? He should do what? Our prayer is Janayatu. Janayatu, he must create. Janayatu, Janma is birth, as you know. So Janayatu meaning he should be the father. He must produce. What should he produce? Sharma, the Sukham. Sharma means pleasure, happiness, prosperity of the world, by which all of them are, all of us are happy. Not only the inanimate objects, but also animate objects. Not only sentient objects, but also insentient objects. What we call Chetanam and Achetanam. Chetanam and Achetanam. So how do you mention that? Jagatam, plural in words. Plural in words. All the worlds, the entire universe, entire creation, Jagatam, Sharma, Sukham. Sharma should not be misspelled and misunderstood. It should be Sharma. Sharma meaning name. Sharma meaning name. Even our name, for example, divine name of the God with which we are called, should make us happy. If I am called by my name, you are uttering the name of God. If I call you by name, generally in English we say we should not call others by name. In a public place, of course, only in a public place. Therefore, so we shout some other name in order that the particular person understands whom does he call, and so forth. So Sharma meaning name. Sharma meaning name. Nakaranta Pullinga Shabda. That is Nakaranta Pullinga Shabda. The end letter is N. N for Narayanan. So here the Sharma is it's a what we call Napumsakalinga Shabda. It is a neuter gender word. Sharma is a masculine gender word. Sharma meaning Sukham. What Sukham? What kind of pleasure? The ethereal pleasure. Not the materialistic pleasure. It is what we call bliss. So it should create bliss. So may Lord, who is that Lord? Vaikunthanatha. Visarga is missing. We are not calling him. Or even otherwise, if you don't take it as mistake, the printing mistake, okay. Hey Vaikunthanatha, oh Lord of the entire Vaikuntham, oh Lord of Vaikuntha, when it is Paramavadanatha, please create Sukham for all the world. Please produce bliss for all the world. So that is the final prayer of this book. Here, let us read it again so that we will understand more and more. Let us see the verse in full. Savyam padam prasarya shrita durita haram dakshinam kunchayitva janunyadhaya. Let me split januni adhaya savyetara bhujam aparam nagabhoge nidhaya. And you can look at the beauty in the Sanskrit letters also. Adhaya, Nidhaya. Adhaya, Nidhaya. In the first line, Pada, Prasarya, Shrita, Durita, Durita, Dakshina. So letters are repeated. Dakara is repeated. Takara is repeated. Raka, Repa is repeated. Durita, Hara. Durita, Hara. Durita, Ri, and Hara, Ra. Repa is repeated. Prasarya, there is ir there. Prasarya. So there some letters are repeated. Then the second line also, Adhaya, Nidhaya. Again there, Ja is repeated. Januni, Bujam. Then Ta is repeated. Again Repa is repeated. And so on. Ga, Naga, Boge. Ga is repeated. So Paschat, Bahudvayena, Pratibhata Shamane, Dharayan Shankachakre, Shankachakre. தமிழ்ல என்ன பண்ணிடுறோம், சங்கம்ங்கிறத சங்குன்னு சங்கு சக்கரம்னு சொல்றோம். அது சான்ஸ்கிரிட் ஸ்பெல்லிங்க கரெக்டா சொன்னா சரியா இருக்கும். சங்கம்னு சொல்லணும், சங்குன்னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. So Devi Bhushadi Jushtaha. Again Bhusha Sha. Ji Jushtaha Shta. Bhusha Jushtaha. Janaitu Jagatam. Jagatam Sharma Vaikunthanatha. Vaikunthanatha. So we go to the next one. Vidita Nigama Simna Venkateshena Tat Tat Bahu Samaya Samaksham Anusar Samaksham Baddha Jaitra Dhvaje Pratipadam Avadhanaha Pushyata Sattatanam Parishadi Vihita Iyam Panchakalasya Raksha. Please note as I read it where some dots are missing. So Vidita Nigama Simna. So he himself gives what we call Mudra, as we say. Tamil Muttirai Padittar Sol. Muttirai Padittirukkarar. Abdina, there is no doubt that Vedanta Deshika composed this, blessed us with this. So Vidita Nigama Simna. So Sima means border, meaning the limit. So Nigama meaning two types of scriptures. One is the four Rik, Yajur, Saman, and Atharva. Not Atharvana. The four Vedas, plus six Vedangas, limbs of scripture, plus 14 Shastras, plus Shad Darshanas, six types of. Then we have, so all these are all under the word Nigama. The last one being Pancaratra Agam. The Nigama also is inclusive of Agama, Pancaratra Agam. Swami Vedanta Deshika was also an expert in Vaikhanasa Agama. He also knows Vaikhanasa Agama. We understand from his books. So Vidita Nigama Simna. Having gone to the limit of the scriptures and all other knowledge. Well known. Vidita means known. Vidita means well known. He knows well, meaning he has studied, he has understood. And in his Sankalpa Suryodaya Natakam, the drama of Swami Vedanta Deshika, he mentioned that confidently. Vimshati Abde Adhita Vidyaha. He said Vimshati Abde, at the age of 20, Adhita Vidyaha. He has completed the course of scriptures. That means everything is known by him. So he became a Sarvajna. That means all-knowing. He became omniscient at the age of 20. He is a prodigy by birth. That is different. And therefore he is knowledgeable completely. So Venkateshana, his name is Venkatesha, as you know. So named after the bell Ghantavatara, is called Ghantavatara. So his original name is Venkatesha on the basis of the Lord Venkatesha of Tirupati. So then Tat Bahu Samaya Samaksha. He presented this Pancaratra Raksha in front of, in the face of, in the presence of the Bahu Samaya Samaksham. Samaksham in the presence of, that is face to face with Samaya, religion, all kinds of Samaya, Bahu Samaya, many religions. He established this Pancaratra Raksha in the face of all other religions, against all other religions, opposing all other religions. Tat, that and that, meaning almost all the. Then what did he do with that? Baddha Jaitra Dhajen. He got the victory over all other religious arguments. Baddha, he tied up the flag on the banner. Jaitra Dhajen. Dhaja is what we call the pillar for flag. Flag staff, as we say. Flag staff. Dhvajastambaha, we say in temple. Dhvajastambha. It is a victorious pillar. Therefore, Jaitra includes Jaya. So, Jayadvajena, So with a victorious pillar or banner or flag staff established, then Pratipadam, so every word, every letter, every syllable. So Pratipadam, every word, Avadhanaha, so attentively, one who reads it attentively, Pushyata, so when he is nourished by every word's attention. Then Sattatanam, so Sattata is the name of the group of people who followed Sattata Samhita. Number two, there are good people. Sattata meaning good people, simply meaning Satam. So Sattatanam, Parishadi, in the assembly. Now, please remember, there is a place called Mulbagal in Karnataka, where Swami Vedanta Deshika won over the debate from Madhva Sampradaya. Mulbagal is a village where I could go and get a glimpse of the victory pillar that they established, even now available for us to see. So that is why I wanted to say that. Jaitra Dhajene, Baddha Jaitra Dhajene. Even today the pillar is there. That means all other Sampradayas are not up to the mark. That's what I mean. So they have their own argument. They have their own gods and goddesses to worship, adore, and so on. But the final decision rests upon WRESTS, rests upon Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Therefore, Pratipadam, Avadhanaha, Purshyata, Sattvatanam Parishadi, the whole assembly of the Sattvata people, meaning Pancaratra Sampradaya followers, who have been nourished by the attentive listening and understanding of the Pancaratra Agama, Vihita Iyam Panchakalasya Raksha. The preservation, Raksha, the protection has been composed, Vihita. Vihita meaning composed. Iyam, this. Iyam meaning it's a feminine gender word. Raksha is also feminine gender word. So Iyam Raksha, this protection, this safety is assured for the five-timed worship of the temple. The five-timed worship, as I repeat now, all of us know, Abhigamanam, Upadanam, Ijya, Swadhyaya, and Yoga. This Panchakala Prakriya, we say. Five-timed worship in the temple. That is being preserved by this work. That's what Swami Vedanta Deshika concludes auspiciously this particular book. Fortunately, in your presence, there are at least 6 people. Some of them are very regular, and some of them joined recently. So I'm happy that we are now coming to almost the last 2 verses, page 181. So Kandula, this is the third chapter only. So Kandula, Kalikat Jala Viladhiya, Kechit Jada Nishthala, Vikroshantu Vyacharehi Saha, Bali Vyatyasa Vitrasibihi, Mogha Shapi, Tatavideshu, Avitatheshu, Aryeshu, Amoghaha, Purusham, Uktaihi, Ukta, Aishwarya, Maha, Phala, Udgamadhiya, Charya, Iyam, Acharyata. Let me read the next one also. Tyaktaha, Shastram, Tyaktam Shastram, Alepaka Prabhridibihi, Kim Tena Tasya Agataha, Pradishtaha, Jagat Ekachakshushi, Divabhitaihi, Tataha Tasya Kim, Rubdham, Pittahataihi, Jugupsitam, Ataha, Tasyapi, Kim Gurjanaihi, Tyaktaha Chet, Api Matkritam, Suruchiram, Kim Deshikaihi, Tyajyate. So you have beautiful meaning of these two verses. So, shall we take it up on Wednesday? But tomorrow being Ashtami, is Anadhyena Dinam. So we will conclude these two with these two, this third chapter, Tritiya Adhikaraha. Thank you very much for your divine presence. With this third Adhikara, the Sri Pancaratra Raksa comes to a completeness. Sampurna. This is Varnanukramanika. Nirdishtanam Granthanam Granthakatrunancha. There have been quotations by Swami Deshika about some books and their authors also. They are given here the name list. Who are the authors who have been quoted and what are the books that have been quoted. Starting with Akshapada in the alphabetical order. So Apastamba Dharma Sutram. All these are all given page wise. There is no mincing of matters by Swami Vedanta. There is no mincing of matters by Swami Vedanta. There is no lie in the books of Vedanta Deshika. There is always authoritative remarks by Vedanta Deshika. Reliable sources are mentioned. That is very important. It is not that he takes very lightly the audience, the spectators, the readers of the book. He takes very seriously. Any subject he deals with very seriously, meticulously, and without single iota of lie, L-I. Therefore, we can always believe them. And he is an universal author. He doesn't belong to Tamil Nadu. He doesn't belong to India, Bharatadesham. He belongs to the entire kingdom. He is an incarnation. He is not an ordinary human being like us. He is an incarnation. And we also say Deshika, Vedanta Deshika is an incarnation of Ramanujacharya. We also say he is an incarnation of Adishesha and so on. We can also say, my own comment I add, because Garuda, the vehicle, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, he is also called Vedatma. Therefore, we can also call Vedanta Deshika as an incarnation of Garuda. Because there is Garuda Upanishad, and we have got 5 names of Garuda in the scriptures which mention his greatness, and then he himself, Vedanta himself composed Garuda Dandaka and Garuda Panchashat. Again, he got the Garuda Mantra advised by them in Tiruvahindrapuram. So he wrote Hayagriva Stotram by the inspiration. So he had all kinds of divine interventions, very positive interventions in his life, and that cannot happen to everyone. Only very rarely such personalities are created by the Lord, and Lord loved him so much, and therefore within the span of 101 years, he could roll out 119 creations, but unfortunately only 114 are available, and then 5 are missing, and sometimes we get some scratch of all these 5 somewhere else. And we also lost many rare books of our previous acharyas. Yoga Ragasyam by Nathamuni, and so on. We also lost one of the 9 books of Sri Yamunacharya, and so on. But still, our sampradaya continues without any break. That is the beauty in our, particularly our land here. Let us all adore him. Let us all understand him. Let us all emulate him. Let us all follow him. With this, I would like to wind up today's discussion.
रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम् कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः। वादिद्विपशिरोभङ्गपञ्चाननपराक्रमः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यं चिरं विजयतां भुवि। சீரொன்றுதூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்னச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः। சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய.